So this will be another example of how to do this Act 5 major speeches activity. For this one, I'm going to use Duke Orsino's speech, one of my favorite speeches in the play. Act 5, Scene 1, lines 160 to 165. So have your textbook open to this and follow along with me. So this speech by Duke Orsino occurs right after the priest shows up and he confirms that Olivia has married somebody. Okay, Olivia believes that she has married Cesario. We, the audience, however, know that she has in fact married Sebastian. Okay, so we can see that there's going to be some confusion that is about to ensue. So obviously the Duke is going to be very upset to hear that Olivia has, quote-unquote, married Cesario, because he, throughout this play, has been chasing Olivia, and he has been using Cesario to pass along his love to Olivia. Okay, so upon hearing this, Duke says, "O thou dissembling cub, what wilt thou be when time hath sowed a grizzle on thy case?" Okay, we're going to chunk those two lines together to begin our summary. So when the Duke says, "O thou dissembling cub," if we look over in the glossary, we can see that dissembling means deceitful, and cub is a term for a young fox. And further, we can read that to refer to Cesario as a cub in this case may be to point out that he was being sly this whole time. Duke Orsino thought Cesario was helping him court Olivia, and then all of a sudden Cesario goes behind his back and marries Olivia. Okay, so we can type into our summary. He says, "You deceitful and sly young man." And let's put a little exclamation mark there, why not? And of course we will change that terrible spelling mistake by Mr. Fraser right there. And there we go. So the next line, "What will thou be when time hath sowed a grizzle on thy case?" Again, we look over to the very helpful glossary, and sowed means planted. A grizzle on thy case, gray hairs on your skin. So he's saying, what will happen to you when you become older? Okay? What will you become when you have aged? So that works well there. Since a question mark ends that sentence, we're going to end this one with a question mark, and we will skip next to the skip lines to indicate the next lines that we're going to summarize. Duke then says, "Or will not else thy craft grow quickly so, that thine own trip shall be thine overthrow?" Again, we can look over into the glossary, and craft means cunning and duplicity, so his ability to be deceitful. And we can see that by trip, Orsino is suggesting that Cesario might become too clever and trip himself up in his own deceit. Okay, so he will be the master of his own demise in some sense. Okay, so he's saying, will you continue to be deceitful to the point that you will cause your own destruction? And we'll end that with another question mark. And of course, we will fix spelling mistakes that are always plentiful in everybody's writing, not just mine. We'll skip to the next line to chunk the final two lines of the speech. Duke says to Cesario, "Farewell, and take her, but direct thy feet where thou and I henceforth may never meet." Okay. So he says to Cesario, "Goodbye, leave. You can have Olivia." Next he says, let's put a semicolon there. There we go. "Direct thy feet where thou and I henceforth may never meet." So basically, I never want to see you again. So in terms of analysis, we can look at this in a lot of different ways. First, let's look at it in regards to what this tells us about Duke Orsino. We'll make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So first of all, we see a lot of rage from Duke Orsino. Ooh, look at that spelling mistake. Goodbye. There we go. And this is really the first time we see this rage. Up until this point, I think it's fair to say that he was very sad and he was very full of melancholy. And this is really the first time that rage comes out. So, this speech shows that Duke Orsino is capable of being very angry. So it's interesting to see that, yes, his character can be sad and so on and so forth, but here he is quite angry with what has happened. He feels deceived. He feels deceived by who he thought he was his friend, Cesario. Also, up until this point, it seemed like he would absolutely under no conditions give up his pursuit of Olivia, but this has caused him to give up his pursuit of Olivia. He finally says, fine, you can have her, just get out of my sight. Olivia. There we go. Okay. So it's significant because he ends his pursuit of Olivia, a major plot point in this story, obviously. Perhaps we should just add in here, let's put in brackets, up to this point, he has been only, as we mentioned before, he has been only sad and full of melancholy. Spell that right? What do you say? Not even close. There we go. And just to wrap this up, we can put in there that this is a major contributing speech. This is a major must be Thursday afternoon, contributing speech to the mistaken identity plotline. And we'll put those all in capitals, because that's just how I roll. And we'll end it there. So hopefully that gives you another good example of how to do this activity, and you can hop on and give your own speech a shot. Again, stay off of No Fear Shakespeare and Spark Notes and all that fun stuff. Test your brain, use your glossary, noodle with your partner, and do your best to get this done, and we'll take it up Monday as a class. Fraser out.